This is an extraordinary statistic. In the first 6 months of this year, more than £500 million was lost to fraudsters, mostly online, with the number of scams where people are tricked into authorising fraudulent payments going up by about a fifth. That's in the first half of the year.
Yeah, and
Amazing.
the most common scams used include texts from criminals pretending to be a loved one in trouble after losing their phone and asking for money to be transferred to them.
One of the other big ones is messages posing as a bank, telling people that their account has been compromised and they need to move their money to another account in order to keep it safe.
And texts from fake delivery companies requesting money before delivering a parcel.
Well, Lucy Fletcher lost nearly £5,000 when a fraudster promised the delivery of an office, kind of a mobile office, so she could run her beauty business from home. And her story is just the tip of the iceberg. She's here, as you can see, along with Tony Sales, who, as we were telling you, was once known as Britain's biggest fraudster. Did a bit of jail time for that, but he's now changed his ways and he advises people on how to avoid being conned. Tony, we'll talk to you in a second. But Lucy, the thing about what happened to you is you were telling our researchers that everything that you saw online in terms of this deal where you were buying a sort of container to go in the garden looked totally plausible. Letter headings, phone numbers, email addresses. But that's the point, isn't it? It would look plausible. They're not going to do a sort of a hash job on it. They're going to make it look absolutely believable.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought I was quite savvy with, with that kind of thing, but obviously not. And it is just so easy for these criminals to catch people out, and it seems to be getting more and more and more. I think everybody knows somebody these days that's had a scam happen to them.
It's frightening. So what happened to you then? Talk us through your horrible experience.
OK, so I was looking for a converted shipping container to carry out my beauty treatments from home.
Right.
And I found this one that looked absolutely perfect on Facebook Marketplace.
So you went to them, they didn't come to you?
Yeah,
you found
it was
them.
advertised,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
I messaged the guy and he said, oh, give me a call, here's my number. So gave him a call, really chatty, lovely guy on the phone. I was just saying to Kate that actually I was saying to my husband how amazing the customer service was and I would highly recommend them.
God. Oh, no, the irony.
I know. So after chatting to him, he said, I'll send you a quotation through, what's your email address? So got that through, all on headed paper, really looked professional. I checked he'd got a website, which he did. He was registered on Companies House.
Golly.
And then I said, right, I'd like to go ahead with this. So he said, I'll send you an invoice through. Again, all headed paper, really professionally done. And he said, just send the money across to this account. It's a business account. You'll be fine. And it was a business account. It matched when I made the transfer.
Didn't your bank warn you?
They rang me and they said, are you sure you're happy about this transaction? I said, I've spoken to him. It's a business email address. He's got a website. He's registered. I feel like I've done my research.
And they said, all right, then, fine.
Yeah. And when I made the payment, this guy then messaged me saying, yeah, that's fine. 2-week delivery time. On the morning of delivery, we'll send you the details of the lorry that's driving it, tracking numbers, all the rest of it.
Jeez.
And that was it. So waited for it to arrive.
It never arrived. What did you then do? Did you go back and say, look, there's been a hold-up? What happened then?
Yeah, absolutely. So went back to him, and when I phoned him, I believe it was him that answered the phone, but he pretended to be somebody else and said, oh, no, he's out of the office at the moment.
Oh, I see.
My husband tried ringing and got exactly the same response. So we were being passed on. So, in effect, there was nobody to take the call.
Did you report it to the police?
Reported it to Fraud Action, but I'm still kind of progressing things with that at the moment. So, yeah.
Well, the bank gave you half your money back, didn't they?
They did.
Because they said, because they'd given you a warning, they weren't going to completely reimburse you.
Absolutely.
So they gave you, at least you got half of it back.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So we should just give them their statement. So Santander, which is your bank, say that this transaction was potentially fraudulent and blocked the initial payment. However, following the conversation with you, because you were utterly convinced by that point, which included the warnings, the payment was requested and completed, and they've given you half the money. I mean, I have to say that banks do ring up a lot to say, is this fraudulent? It happens to me quite a lot.
They ping you, don't they?
Yeah, they ping you as well. So I can understand that wouldn't necessarily have alarmed you because you've done that due diligence. Tony, the thing is, they're getting clever and clever, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the more that tech comes in, the more the fraudsters and scammers are going to get clever because it just enables them to commit the crimes like never before, you know? If I can commit a crime as a criminal, well, I don't ever have to see a victim, I don't ever have to know anything about them, I can just see them online. The police can't trace me because I'm using a VPN and I'm hidden.
Yeah.
How on earth are we going to stop the onslaught of fraud that's coming unless we change?
What was your modus operandi? Did you approach people, or did you set yourself up like this geezer obviously did, and wait for them to come to you?
What I did was very different back then. I'd done a lot of identity theft, which was more analogue and not digital. So it's a very different thing. But I always have a saying that all scams are old scams with a new spin, right?
Yeah.
There are no new ones. They all use technology to enable to catch people. So in the olden days, people might have spoken to someone like Lucy, all right, mate, come round, I've got a few quid, look, I've got one of them things for you, and just done it like that.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, they can hide behind a social media platform that allows them to, you know, talk and make Lucy believe that she's actually really buying something that's legitimate.
I mean, the problem is I'm not sure what else Lucy could have done to check it out. I mean, she looked on Company's House, she checked that. I mean, the degree of deception, you know, I mean, it's easier to be deceived by anything, isn't it? Particularly, as you say, as things are so clever now, you know, very often with AI and all sorts of things, it's very believable. What should she have done?
Well, I mean, she's done a lot of really good things, right? And we were just talking about this in the green room a moment ago. So, you know, always make sure that the person that you're buying stuff off, you know, have they got a following? Is there reviews there of stuff that they've sold to people?
Right.
Once you've looked on somewhere like that, come offline and then search. Go to a really good search engine, just have a little look, see what people are saying about that company, yeah? So you don't just take that word for it in the beginning.
Don't just take the reviews on their website.
Yeah, don't just accept those. Go off, have a look and see what else you can find. And that's, in that situation, that's all she could have done to enhance it. But then the email address, the company, like, there's other bits that you can look at, yeah? We all tend to blame social media sites, but the actual fact is these companies can't open up social media accounts, or the fraudsters can't open up social media accounts without the email accounts that
Are
make
there
them
any
happen.
classic little warning signs that should ring your bell?
Yeah, so...
Can you tell what they are?
Yeah, so you have, like, triggers, yeah? So trust, someone's looking to get trust. It's OK, I'm a really trustworthy person. You know, if someone's telling you that on the phone, they're automatically making you feel at ease. No, it's OK, we've done this loads of times before, it's fine, yeah?
Right.
And once they start to do that, you should trigger something. Ding, the bell should go off, yeah? And then just step back. So just like Action Fraud and Take 5 for Fraudster, step back from that situation and think about what you're actually doing before you do any of that stuff. Put the phone down. You don't have to talk to those people. Even if it's your bank calling you, put the phone down. You don't have to talk to them. No. They would be far better. They would be far more happier that you put the phone down on a scammer, yeah, and didn't send your money away out of their bank that they've then got to go and investigate in. So,
with purchases like Lucy, though, I mean, most purchases online, you have to commit cash before they deliver.
That's right.
So how do you protect yourself in that situation?
So reputable sites, right? So you should only be giving people companies that you can check, that you can know.
Yeah.
So a lot of these scams, yeah, so there's one going around, the exact same scam as Lucy got caught on with cars.
Right.
In the olden days, we wouldn't just go and buy a car without seeing it. Nowadays, we're giving people deposits all over the place. We shouldn't be doing that stuff, you know? We just have to be more aware of what we do.
Can I ask you, I mean, we reckon you made about 30 million through all of your scams. How did you get caught?
I was caught in a shopping centre in Meadowhall by a very eagle-eyed lady that had spotted us going to the counter, and that was as simple as that, and it took down...
And you went on the run, didn't you? And
I spent 6 years of my life as a fugitive, yeah.
You pulled your own teeth out, so your dental records were changed?
I did, yeah, and that just goes to show that there's no glamour to crime. You know, I was a kid that was traumatised and ended up in a life of stuff that then happens, and it just led me to that life, you know, but crime is definitely...
How long did you get in jail?
So the last sentence I spent 15 months on the last one.
And then you came out and decided to go straight and turn it completely around and do this. Advise people. Yeah,
advise people and help, because it's a pandemic, right, of fraud that we're suffering, yeah? And, you know, we're really good at combating all the cyber stuff in this country. We have really good people in place, but we just need to get more aware about our own information and what we do with it, and that's going to make it
Do you feel guilty now, looking back to what you did?
I always feel guilty, because that's why I do what I do today, right? Because for the things that I've done and the victims that I caused, I'll always feel like that. But what else can I do apart from try and raise awareness?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I work with the police as an ex-criminal, someone who goes and works with the police, but I put my life on the line every day to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, it's important that we raise it.
OK,
Yeah,
well, thank you, Tony, and bad luck, Lucy.
Yeah.
As you said, Kat, I can't think of anything else you could have done, but, of course, he did point out, come offline.
Yeah, some of
and
the
go to a search engine.
And there's an element of feeling like a fool as well, isn't there,
Yeah,
when you do
there
it,
is,
which people shouldn't, because
Yeah,
it's
I always say
so...
to people, please don't feel stupid when a fraudster gets you. You need to talk about this stuff here. You're
they're
playing
damn
against
clever.
professionals, yeah? I always say, if you was a footballer and a Pele nutmeg jar, you wouldn't be upset about that, right? These guys are professionals, so you have to just think like that.
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
And how are the teeth, by the way?
They're much better now, thank you.
OK, all right, good. You had to work that on. Thank you.
Thanks.
Look, if you've been affected by any of the issues we've been discussing, you can find advice and support at itv.com/helplines.